Aren't you guys happy to get out of the house for once?
Jade's tail swishes back and forth under her striped skirt as she takes a great big sniff of the fresh outside air. It's early evening on the outskirts of the Troll Kingdom. One by one, neon bright windows are lighting up on the hives in the distance. Karkat is still shielding his eyes against the dying strains of the sunset. His shoulders are scrunched up so high that his cheeks disappear into his turtleneck.
No, actually. I don't get what's so great about it. I can see the same bullshit from the comfort of my house. Check it out. A giant billboard of Jake English, complete with gyrating mechanical ass. What a totally necessary thing to shove right into my gander bulbs. Definitely couldn't have lived without seeing that.
Dude, okay. Don't pretend you don't spend at least 15% of your day ogling Jake's ass on television anyway. In fact, you're doing it right now.
Well, I can't help it, Dave. It's right fucking there. Oh my god. Are the mechanical glutes on that billboard actually padded with plush to make them more lifelike?
Yeah, see, crazed fans kept climbing the billboards to cop a feel, so Dirk designed the second run of them to have an accurate recreation of Jake's butt density.
He did what?
It's wild, dude. It's like exactly spot on.
Wait, holy fuck. Have you actually touched Jake's ass?
I mean, not necessarily on purpose, but who hasn't? Like, I wouldn't say it's so much that I touched his ass. It's more like his ass copped a feel in my sweaty palm one time, and my poor fingers haven't been the same since. Sometimes, I wake up from a fevered sleep and find my reluctant groping hand huddled in the corner of my bed, all shaking and shit. The mind represses, but the body remembers. I've thought about taking my hand to a psychologist, but I don't think the little guy is ready to talk about it yet. Anyway, have you seriously never touched it?
I haven't.
Not even by accident, like brushing by in a crowded elevator?
No. I don't spend a lot of time standing in elevators with Jake fucking English, or for that matter, doing much of anything with the idiot, as you well know.
What I'm hearing is you've tragically never touched his ass, and it's a bit of a sore subject with you. Is that why you're so obsessed with it?
Huh?
Do you want to touch it? Shit can be arranged, my dude. Here, I'll text Dirk right now. I bet he can pencil you in to cop a feel sometime next week.
No, I don't want to. Put your phone the fuck away. We are never having a playdate with Dirk and Jake again. Especially not one arranged for the express purpose of assaulting one of them.
Dude, Jake lives for this shit. It's not assault if his ass is begging for it. Wait, wow, that sounded bad. Let's strike that one from the record. Anyway, it's no problem. He literally will be delighted to hear you want to spend time with him for some inane reason.
Stop texting right now.
Karkat tries to tear Dave's phone out of his hand, but Dave simply levitates several inches off the ground to hold it just out of jumping distance. Jade, pouting a bit, glides in between them and uses her space powers to teleport Dave's phone out from the center of his traumatized palm and into the pocket of her sweater.
Hey, can we focus here? Jake's ass isn't the one you two should be talking about right now.
Oh my god. Jade, do you ever fucking stop? I don't care about your ass either. I've seen it about as many times as I've seen Jake's. The novelty has worn off, assuming there is even much to begin with.
Jade leers at the boy who may have just implied that her ass was nothing to write home about. Her canines are longer and sharper than a normal human's, making her grin seem more predatory in nature, especially when she wants it to be. Karkat shivers at the sight of it.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Jade grabs Karkat's right hand, and then Dave's left one, and she begins to pull them towards each other. Both boys recoil, but she is much stronger than them.
Jade? Come on, what are you?
She's doing it. She's making it happen.
This is a date, dummies.
No, stop.
Dude.
Karkat makes a fist so tight that his nubby fingernails pinch his skin. Dave does the opposite. He makes a flat palm and raises it, as if to stop traffic.
No, let me show you. You have to turn it flipwise.
She turns Dave's hand so that it's cupping Karkat's angry little fist in its palm. When she pries Karkat's fingers open finally, they snap close around Dave's almost automatically. Karkat's eyes go a little light bulb-like. Dave's gone pale and a bit sweaty. Jade claps, then makes a rectangle with her thumbs and forefingers, framing her hand-holding besties at the center of it. She's taking a picture with her brain right now, Dave and Karkat, being all shy and intimate with the romantic backdrop of a brilliant twilight behind them. A pretty portrait. Put her in the middle of it, and it's a work of art. Just what she wants the rest of her life to be. After all, where would these two pitiful beta boys be without her?
See, I don't mind at all. I would never try to break up what you two have. I'm just trying to make it better.
With a satisfied smile, Jade dips under their arms and hooks her hands around either waist, pulling Dave and Karkat up flush against her. Their fingers remain entwined behind her back. She begins walking them down the ridge of the hill, beaming brighter than the first stars in the sky.
See, isn't this perfect? It could be like this all the time, you know? The three of us in every combination. Or whatever combinations you two are comfortable with. Positions, too.
Dave has gone catatonic. Karkat's just as quiet, but it's a quiet that's as loud and alarmed as his actual voice. He's got his head turned away from the situation he's been forced into, as far as it will go. He's concentrating so hard on looking elsewhere that he trips over a rock and is only saved by Jade picking the three of them off the ground as she takes flight. Karkat's legs flail when his feet go out from under him.
Ugh, don't do that. You know I fucking hate that.
Jade sets them back on the ground, cackling like the witch she is. Karkat still won't look at her. She stops laughing abruptly, sensing that her plan isn't going quite as well as she'd hoped. She views the two boys as a broken electrical circuit, and herself as the conductor between the two charged points. She just needs to maneuver it into the correct configuration, like she did with their hands. She does a quick few calculations in her head, refusing to give up on her assumption that relationship issues can be solved the same way math problems can.
Don't worry, Karkat. There's nothing to be scared of. We'll take care of you. Right, Dave?
Dave doesn't answer. She answers for him by leaning down and planting a dry, affectionate kiss on Karkat's cheek. He yelps and leaps away like he's been scalded by a burning iron, liberating himself from the deeply uncomfortable hug triad.
Okay, that is it. I am drawing a fucking line in the sand right here and now, Jade. You will cease this endless violation of my person with your mouth, fingers, and occasionally your fucking tail. I am not a piece of meat that you can brutally and viciously molest whenever you're bored.
Brutally and viciously?
Alright, it's possible I'm overreacting, but that's my fucking right as a free and autonomous person with a certain degree of fundamental bodily sovereignty endowed to him by the gods of motherfucking consent.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope you understand what I'm getting at here, which is that I want you to stop doing shit like kissing me without asking permission first.
Karkat, you're absolutely right. And I couldn't agree more with you on issues of consent, as everyone who's gotten to know me well enough is perfectly aware. But I'm not the one who kissed you, silly.
What?
Jade covers her mouth coquettishly and winks.
It was Dave!
Dave turns around, shoulders going rigid, and eyes popping open like he's just awoken from one of the terrible, sweaty nightmares he was projecting onto his hand earlier.
What?
You kissed Karkat! Finally!
No, I didn't. Why would I?
Dave hesitates. Jade is giddy with anticipation. She couldn't possibly look more pleased by her own handiwork.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I would never. You're whack, Jade. I'm not.
Whack?
Why would I kiss Karkat? I've never even once thought about kissing Karkat. How would you even fucking do it? He's so petite.
I am what?
You're like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna admit that was a weird thing to say, and it's got dick all to do with your kissability.
God damn it. Can we stop talking about this yet?
What I mean is, like, how could somebody kiss this guy? Like, anybody. When his teeth are so...
When my teeth are fucking what?
Dude, they're just... Like, they're huge and not always in your mouth, so, like, how would a guy get his tongue in there?
Tongue?
Karkat begins hyperventilating and momentarily forgets his beef with Jade long enough to lean on her to prevent himself from toppling over.
You'd have to be really careful to, like... I mean, if you were intending to kiss Karkat, I mean, it's not like I've put any thought into this, but you'd have to be so careful, like, just so totally gentle in your approach to it because he's so...
Enough. Cease. I command you.
You know, like this. I don't know, I'm just spitballing, and this is literally the first time the thought is, ever popped into my head. But upon earnest reflection, I don't know if I'm up to the task.
Dave's mouth hangs open a bit. His gaze flits from Karkat to Jade and back again. His palms are wet, but his mouth is dry.
I'm not. I was never. We're not.
Dave's mumbling protest slows to a stop.
Actually, you know what? I don't have time for this. Peace, dudes.
Dave ollies the fuck out of there, flash stepping between 1 second to the next, disappearing 30 seconds into the future with the gusto of a piece of garbage flying into the fucking sun. Jade stares after him, blinking at the glare of the after image he left behind. It's a glimmering slice of ultraviolet that only she can see. It lingers in the unstable particles between the air. She huffs and puts her hands on her hips.
Wow, rude? I forget sometimes how immature Dave can be. Well, Karkat, I guess it's just us. Do you still want to go split a plateau of grub spaghetti at the noodle barn?
Karkat, when she turns to address him, is staring at her slack-jawed. He takes a step back, but isn't watching where he puts his foot. His heel goes into a dip in the hill, and he goes stumbling backwards, feet overhead.
Fuck. Jade, would you... Fuck. Ugh. Oh, it'll help, maybe. Ugh.
Jade could probably catch him. Actually, she could easily do it, but it doesn't seem like the kind of favour you should do in a fledgling kismacetude. So instead, she watches him roll all the way to the foot of the hill, knees and elbows bouncing around all ragdolled and furious as he swears up a storm. He hits the ground back first and just lays there for a few minutes, completely owned. He watches the darkening sky with a hollow look on his face for at least an entire minute. Then, he slowly pulls himself to his feet and brushes the brambles off his pants. He points up the hill at Jade and shouts,
For the record, just so we're both clear, this is why I hate leaving the fucking house.
He absconds, limping a little and rubbing the left side of his ass, which, unfortunately for him, affords nowhere near the level of padding as Jake's legendary backside. Jade puffs out both of her cheeks and stares after him.
Well, I guess I'm eating grub spaghetti alone. Again.